Guys, I'm super excited to announce we're bringing back John Rants. It's coming back. You guys have requested it. I've been reading your comments online. Just look at your comments. You guys are so nice about everything and how everything was. And you mean my style even? People wanted to see that. So we got the bow tie. I mean, I don't really want to shave right now, but you know, we're all stuck in quarantine. We're all feeling great about ourselves. So let's jump right into it. Hello friends, family, and random Facebook onlookers. I'm gonna go ahead and explain what the heck I've been doing on Facebook for the past couple years. I'm mostly referring to the posts that make me sound a lot smarter than I really am. Yeah, those ones. I know most of you probably continued scrolling after seeing them, and I don't blame you, because who wants to interact with a guy who looks like he thinks he's better than everyone else? I don't really want them to appear that way because that's far from the truth. A couple years back, there was a lecture that inspired me to do what I've been doing. Let me just go ahead and show you the clip from the lecture.
Don't underestimate the power of truth. There's nothing more powerful. Now, in order to speak what you might regard as the truth, you have to let go of the outcome. You have to think, all right, I'm going to say what I think, stupid as I am, biased as I am, ignorant as I am. I'm going to state what I think as clearly as I can, and I'm going to live with the consequences no matter what they are. Now, the reason you think that's an element of faith. The idea is that nothing brings a better world into being than the stated truth. Now, you might have to pay a price for that, but that's fine. You're going to pay a price for every bloody thing you do and everything you don't do. You don't get to choose to not pay a price. You get to choose which poison you're going to take. That's it. So if you're going to stand up for something, stand up for your truth. It'll shape you, because people will respond and object and tell you why you're a fool and a biased moron and why you're ignorant. And then if you listen to them, you'll be just that much less like that the next time you say something. And if you do that for 5 years, you'll be so damn tough and articulate and able to communicate and withstand pressure that you won't even recognize yourself. And then you'll be a force to contend with.
So simply put, I wanted to go ahead and just start stating the truth and living with the consequences of it. I went ahead and categorized these posts from most controversial, most liked, and most ignored, I guess. In terms of how I categorized the most controversial ones, simply I just looked at the ones with the most comments or the most discussions. And these happen to skew towards the political realm a little bit. Go figure. First was a post about abortion. From what I understood, the most controversial part of this was when people went straight to rape cases. So to restate what I find to be the truth is that abortion is immoral. And I believe that many people from both sides of the argument agree with that statement. So what I believe to be the answer for all cases of abortion is that they should all come from a place of love. And what that means is there's no single answer to all the cases of abortion because there's so much variation. We could spend hours in a single video talking about a few of them. And according to analytics, most of you have already stopped watching by now. So who's gonna spend several hours on different variations of answers to different situations of abortion? And if you're still here, you have beaten the odds of becoming a higher intellectual like myself. And what that means is you too can know the difference between your and your. Like, you're welcome, and your best option is to like and subscribe. Another top controversial post of mine was actually fairly recently. What I'm trying to communicate here is that gratitude is seemingly lost. Basically, how ungrateful does someone have to be to not see how far we as humanity have come? Imagine living 1,000 years ago. The average person was struggling to even survive. What did anyone really have claim to say they deserved X, Y, or Z? Today, there's no gratitude for our ancestors who have carried us on their backs to get us where we are today. So to say anyone deserves anything is to be ungrateful, and rather than counting it as a blessing. So if you're grateful for this video to be released, go ahead and tell me what I should make a video about next. So what posts were more liked? These were generally lighter on the soul, but of course, the top one had to be about abortion again. But with the posts that were generally more liked, they seem to have a little more of a Christian trend to them. The Christian perspective I have seen to be a perspective of love overall. Christianity, simply put, is about loving thy neighbor and God. This seems to either be forgotten or purposely left out of the societal discussion when it comes to the Christian perspective of things. We mostly see cases in media and social media of hateful perspectives when it comes to the Christian perspective, but in real life I don't see that to be the case. So I just wanted to remind people who maybe don't know the Christian perspective or a tainted one, just where we stand. And the next post kind of tied in with the previous one as well in terms of most liked. So either there is a complete disconnect between Christianity and Christians, or it's just portrayed that way. I think the media generally likes to portray the Christian perspective on societal discussions as a malicious one, because that seems to sell really well, and hey, what's to stop them? In fact, I think that the argument that the common Christian is more lax in their belief is a lot stronger of an argument than the argument that the common Christian is malicious in their ways. So I simply say that Christians need to be more educated and concrete in their beliefs and what they really mean. If only there was a semi-comedic video out there explaining what it means to be a Christian. Oh yeah, there is one. Go ahead and check that video out if you haven't already. The part y'all all been waiting for. The most hated, the most disliked posts I've made, and well, the first one, that one surprised me a bit. It surprised me because of how much negative feedback I was getting for that one. Many of those who did responded as though that money was their only problem. And from my experience, money isn't a mathematical problem, it's more of a behavioral problem. And I'm not talking down to anyone who did response or anything like that. Just an observation that I had. Dave Ramsey, if you're watching, I got a sponsor spot open for you. Please, I need money. Most people, when they do suddenly come into a lot of money, either develop new problems or issues that they will start to have, or their existing issues will just be exemplified with the money. Why do you think lotto winners end up broke soon after they get all this money? So all in all, the individual is the problem, not money. Hence why money won't solve your problems. So at the expense of you liking me less than you probably already did, here's another one for you. I was surprised and honestly disappointed that this one was the most ignored / disliked from people. I don't know, maybe it was the evil communist lizard man, the Zuck himself, shadow banning me and using the algorithms to block my posts from getting seen by people. Facebook is trying to take me down and ban me on Facebook, and along with this picture of Trump and Melania, and just please share all my stuff so I can feel more validated in my victimhood that I'm putting myself into. The differences between equity and equality are being kind of blended together. It is a very, very dangerous ideology to follow and to implement in a society. Bottom line, the guises of Marxism and totalitarianism are all over in the equity arguments. And if you apply any logic for a few minutes, you'll realize how terrible of an idea it is. According to science, if you've made it this far into the video, your brain is significantly larger than 90% of the population. Also, 60% of statistics are also made up. What does that mean? I don't know. But you should go ahead and like this video and share it. Last thing I'm gonna close on is this. I know many people saw this as an attempt to get attention or gain notoriety amongst my peers, and I can see exactly why you would think that. I think where I vary when it comes to people who do things like this to gain notoriety and stuff is I went to all 117 posts ready to change my mind on everything. I think many also saw this as an opportunity to just argue with people, and over the past 2 years there have been some bad days, and I fell victim to that. But I also just wanted everyone who did read the posts or read the comments of things to just form opinions of their own and form full constructed thoughts of their own and think for themselves. They didn't have to be exactly my thoughts on everything, but I wanted to just help the societal gain and seeking of truth in that with open discussion. This experience that I've gone through and am going to continue to go through has been fairly revolutionary for me in forming my worldview and everything. And I highly recommend that anyone who hasn't seen that lecture I mentioned earlier to go ahead and watch the full thing. The book that these ideas comes from the book 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos. Actually a great read if you haven't done so already. And who knows, maybe we'll start a book club on these video series. So leave a comment on what we should do videos on next, and leave a like, subscribe, do all those cool things. It really helps me out. If you could see how janky this setup is, it is quite remarkable that I've gotten this to actually work. So yeah, we'll keep on continuing to learn the truth and grow in knowledge. And till next time.